It's a new week, and as all Star Wars fans know, it means a new episode of the interesting Ahsoka series. With the third episode of the show airing on Tuesday, 29th of August, fans are starting to have different opinions and reactions about the show. In this video, we do a recap of the series events that unfold in the third episode while reviewing the different opinions of fans regarding the episode. So, welcome to Star Wars Deconstructed, students of the Force and acolytes of the galaxy. Whether you're a Jedi, Sith, or somewhere in between, join us today as we review the third episode of Ahsoka and the fans' reactions and arguments that came with it. So, after that super exciting two-episode kickoff, Ahsoka keeps the action rolling on Disney+. In the third episode, which is a bit shorter but still packed with awesomeness, we see Ahsoka Tano and her recently reinstated Padawan embarking on a journey to the Denab system. What's the deal? Well, they're hot on the trail of a transport ship that managed to slip through their fingers in the previous episode, Toil and Trouble. But guess what? Dealing with the aftermath of their Imperial encounter isn't a walk in the park. Those Imperial sympathizers aren't exactly throwing a welcome party for our heroes and their new mission. So if you're wondering what went down in episode 3 of Ahsoka, we got you covered with a quick recap to get you all set for the upcoming episodes of the season. Ahsoka's third episode kicks off with a cool prologue. Ahsoka and Huyang are in action, helping Sabine with her lightsaber training while cruising through space on their ship. Sabine's got some skills left from her previous training, but Huyang isn't totally convinced she's the next lightsaber prodigy just yet. This part of the episode takes inspiration from those classic samurai films that George Lucas loved, and even gives a nod to the blind fighting technique used by Zatoichi, that blind warrior from old Japanese movies. Dawson and Bordizzo, the actors, move gracefully like they're in a dance. It's a mix of showing off Sabine's natural combat instincts and her determination to impress Ahsoka. But you know how it is. She gets a little bit frustrated with her own limits. These scenes are pretty fun and also bring back some nostalgia, helping us feel the connections forming between the characters. Now here's the funny part. Huyang jumps in with some sharp humor. He basically says that Sabine doesn't have the Force connection that would make her a Jedi prodigy. Imagine a blend of C-3PO's matter-of-factness and K-2SO's pessimism from Rogue One. He's not bothered by Ahsoka's comments that his honesty might be tough on Sabine. And get this, he even pokes fun at Ahsoka for being part of the unconventional Jedi Club. Up next, we get whisked into a meeting that's as important as it sounds. General Hera Syndulla, Chancellor Mon Mothma, and a bunch of senators all huddled up. Hera spills the beans about the recent adventure at the shipyard where they tangled with those diehard Imperial supporters. The good news is they shut down the factory and nabbed the troublemakers, but Hera's got a nagging feeling. She thinks this is just the tip of the iceberg and drops the bomb that she believes Grand Admiral Thrawn is still out and about. Mon Mothma's jaw practically hits the floor at this news, but not everyone in the room is buying it. Hera's got a big ask now. She wants the green light to send a squad from the New Republic to the Denab system, which is exactly where Ahsoka and Sabine are off to. But here's the twist. The senators aren't exactly jumping up to offer more support. And then there's Senator Xiono, who's convinced that Hera's real motive is to send the New Republic on a wild goose chase for her old buddy Ezra Bridger. Once the meeting wraps up, Hera has a family moment. She bumps into her son, Jason, who's bursting with excitement. He drops the bomb that he wants to follow in Aunt Sabine's footsteps and become a Jedi. This could be a tease for Jason having a genuine future as a Jedi, as his father was the late Kanan Jarrus, a Jedi survivor from Order 66 who fell in love with Hera and also trained Ezra Bridger. Back on Ahsoka's ship, there's a heart-to-heart between Ahsoka and Sabine. Ahsoka dishes out some praise, telling Sabine she's doing great. But Sabine's not exactly doing cartwheels of joy. She admits that tapping into the Force is like trying to talk to a brick wall for her. It's not flowing like it does for her master. Ahsoka then left her and went to chat with Huyang in the cockpit. This is where Huyang spills some knowledge. Apparently, Mandalorians becoming Jedi is like finding a unicorn. Super rare. While this conversation was ongoing, Sabine was in the background trying her hand on the Force. She was trying to Jedi mind trick a mug. Spoiler alert, the mug's winning. Ahsoka soon called for a meeting as she set up a transmission from Hera. It was at this meeting she learned that the New Republic wasn't throwing them a lifeline. As they drop out of hyperspace and hit the Denab system, their comms go off, and Hera's voice fades away. Huyang has been tracking the location of the transport vessel, with its orbit heading for the far side of the planet. He's also picking up a much larger signal. The droid tells him that he needs to get closer to scan the other object. Unfortunately, Shin Hati and a squadron of Imperial fighters are on their trail, and a battle soon breaks out. Sabine gets sent to the tail gun of the ship. Although she struggles to land a blow to start with, she starts calling the shots and ordering Ahsoka to pull some evasive maneuvers, which soon help her hit the mark. Under continuous fire, they finally lay eye on Morgan Elsbeth's massive hyperdrive ring, the Eye of Sion. But Huyang tells them he needs to be closer to gather more info about the ship's capabilities. Shin contacts Morgan to tell her to handle the rebels as they've grown close, and Morgan has her droids fire up the hyperdrive ring's turbo lasers to attack Ahsoka on approach. Just as he completes his scan, there's a huge explosion on Ahsoka's ship. While they survive the blast, the turbo lasers knock out the power on the vessel, leaving the ship adrift and Huyang out of order. Shin realizes it wasn't a direct hit, so she orders her fighters, including Merrick, to finish them off. Ahsoka leaves Sabine to get the ship back up and running and walks out of the wing to defend off the Imperial ships with her lightsabers. Sabine fixes everything up in the nick of time, rescues Ahsoka, who ends up floating in space, and they manage to evade the Imperials by flying down to the planet's surface through a flock of Purgles. They land in the forest on the nearby planet, and Huyang explains the hyperdrive vessel could theoretically be capable of jumping to another galaxy if they knew the relevant coordinates. Then they switch off the power again to evade the Imperials, but their plan probably won't work very well, as the episode ends with Baylan Skoll ordering Imperial troops to hunt them down. Episode 3 of Ahsoka captures the feel of A New Hope with Jedi training and dogfights and has allowed the show to find a sure footing as the characters settle into a strong and fun dynamic while working together to uncover how the Imperial loyalist Morgan Elsbeth is working to bring back Grand Admiral Thrawn. Director Filoni has always wanted us to believe that Ahsoka Tano, like her former master Anakin Skywalker, is a very different kind of Jedi. She turned her back on the Order, but rather than turn to the dark side like Anakin, she chose to continue utilizing her connection to the Force, but on her own terms. Thus far, the series has made it clear that Sabine is not Force-sensitive, but is rather a very gifted fighter thanks to her Mandalorian upbringing. Though the Rebels never established that Ahsoka attempted to train Sabine in the ways of the Jedi, it's a believable reveal in Ahsoka. After all, Kanan Jarrus tried the same thing with Sabine and also found her frustratingly Force-insensitive. However, many fans believe that the episode is infuriatingly short, but fun. While some fans might appreciate the show's focus on Jedi training and space battles, others might find it repetitive and unoriginal. The show's attempt to connect different Star Wars properties might also be a point of contention for some fans. However, the focus on expanding the universe and re-examining the core definition of what it is to be a Jedi provides a lot of promising ways for the plot to continue to unfold, which could be a point of agreement for many fans.